Well, hello there, ladies and gents. I'm Tammy Sipniewski, your crypto queen. Thank you so much for popping by my channel. And here we are, post-AMA on the SandStorm CryptoRealist YouTube channel, their big interview of Russ Armand from Saitama. Now, how did it all go? Well, I guess that depends on who you ask. If you ask the WolfPack, they claim that Russ cleaned SandStorm's clock and had him on his heels the whole entire time. If you ask anybody else that watched that AMA, they would say SandStorm and CryptoRealist did a really great job at being journalists, being professional, and asking legitimate questions. That's it, no more, no less. They weren't there to sandbag Russ. If you believe that, then you totally missed the entire point of this interview. This interview was to make a bridge over to Saitama to have a serious conversation, no name calling, no fudding, no ridiculousness, no pettiness. Just two professionals in conversation answering questions. That's all it was ever meant to be. Now, come on. You know I had to enter one of the Twitter spaces to see what the WolfPack was saying after the interview. Shaka had a lot to say about the AMA. Shaka had a lot to say about Saitama in general, because according to Shaka, there would be no Saitama if it wasn't for him.
I promise you, it wouldn't be no project if we didn't step up. You wouldn't have no project, and that's a promise. I promise you wouldn't have no project, because the FUD would have been took over the internet.
He just basically open hand slapped Russ. That's what that was. So I would like to ask this question of Shaka. Hey, Shaka, why'd you let the price get all the way down to 18 the other day? Why is it still only at 20? Why did you let that happen? When SandStorm did ask Russ to address the personal attacks that had been going on by the WolfPack, I think Russ gave an okay answer. You know, what else could he possibly say? He knows he's been silent this whole entire time as they've been acting like crazy fools, and he's been silent. Of course, what is he going to say? Really? He doesn't condone personal attacks. Of course he's going to say that, but he never steps up and says, hey guys, enough. This is not who we are as a WolfPack, and that's it. But of course, they spun it as SandStorm's just crying on Russell's shoulder and he needs a box of tissues. They don't understand what professionalism is. They're so unprofessional and ridiculous. It just would never occur to them that SandStorm had Russ on the channel for no other reason than a real interview. That's all it was. It's no secret, you guys know, SandStorm and the CryptoRealist, they're my friends. So of course, a girl had to raise her hand in that room and have her say. I hit the request button for the mic and they let me have it. I was like, oh my gosh, they're actually going to let me speak. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be epic. I'm sitting there waiting my turn, because if you jump in, then they say, oh, look at you just jumping in. So I sat there, I'm waiting my turn, and they kicked me out of the room. They just booted me right on out of the room. What's the matter? Are you afraid of what this girl has to say? Maybe you need a box of tissues. Here's the thing that you have to realize about Russ. He is a smooth talker. He could talk himself, I bet, out of any situation. He always spins the story around, not so much as a bait and switch, but a nice way to kind of tie it all together, make it sort of all look like it's making sense, but it doesn't make any sense at all. Let's take a very small for instance. When they brought up the fact that the SATA mask was not working, even though they had been releasing tweets for months saying that the SATA mask is functioning, but it didn't really work. And then Russ talked about, it's kind of like a car engine. You can build this wonderful car engine, put every piece together. It looks perfect and it's going to be the best engine and looks great, but you're just not sure it's going to work until you turn the key. Like, he's got all these little stories that he keeps tucked into his pocket and he just pulls them out. Of course a car engine is not going to work if you don't put it together properly. But do you see NASCAR drivers pushing their car up to the line, and when the flag goes down, that's the first time that they're going to turn their key to see if their engine works? That would be a hard no. I really want to get Teddy Ganja on the show because I want him to fact check a lot of what was said in that AMA, especially that particular thing. Hey, Teddy, is it really true that there's absolutely no way for you to test the function of SATA mask before actually setting it live? Is that really true? I think I have a feeling that I know what Teddy's going to say. One thing that I'm really happy that they asked about was the whole marketing aspect of everything that he does. He puts a certain spin on everything. Any little tweet that he puts out, a little nugget that makes people hope, a little nugget of, oh my gosh, we're going to the moon because of what Russ tweeted. And of course, nothing he tweets ever comes to fruition. Nothing. So one of the things that they asked about was, okay, well, you build Lilly Finance as our way into big pharma. You understand that Lilly Finance has nothing to do with big pharma. Oh, that was all Brad. Brad said that was. How do you not look at this company, understand exactly what it is, and realize that, okay, this has nothing to do with big pharma? That's pharmaceuticals. That's drugs. This has nothing to do with that. He took zero culpability, zero. He knew that when he was supposed to do that, what was called a Binance interview, that people believed that they were being listed on Binance. Look at Enoch. He was all over Twitter, howling, talking about how he doubled down and bought like 80 grand more worth of Saitama, and because he thought for sure it's going to be FOMO time now. We're getting listed on Binance. Here we go. And he's howling. He knows what he's doing. He just doesn't want to take any culpability for it. And this is important because this is where the WolfPack says that I'm a futter. The day that happened, I put out a tweet saying, you guys realize that this is not a Binance listing. He's just got an interview, but it has nothing to do with being listed on Binance. You understand that, right? Oh, you're a paid fudder. Who's paying you? You just want to fud our project and fud the token and drag the price down. You're on somebody's payroll. It's absolutely ridiculous that they would think that. No one has ever paid me a penny or a token or anything to ever say anything negative about Saitama. I don't believe I'm saying anything negative about Saitama. I'm just telling the truth. Whatever the truth is, I'm telling that. And when you tell the truth, apparently that's fudding. Then CryptoRealist hits him with the PR agency question. Did you hire a PR agency? If so, when did you hire them and who are they? And of course, Russ is like, well, we're looking. But remember, he's already said that indeed they have hired a PR firm. He said that in an AMA well, not really an AMA because nobody ever gets to ask him anything. It's more of, I'm just going to sit here and talk on Twitter while you listen. Let me spin my story and you can sit there and listen. Basically, it's one of those. So he said, a couple weeks ago that indeed they had hired a PR agency to help them with their marketing. But the marketing is horrendous. And CryptoRealist brought up the point that there's always misspellings. It's grammatically incorrect. Can't you do something to clean up these press releases? And Russ is like, well, maybe I can have somebody, check it over. Russ, hi, it's me. I want to speak directly with you. Did you know in Microsoft Word, there's a little thing called spell check? You can run your thing through spell check. It will correct anything that you have in there that's misspelled and will also help you correct grammatically incorrect sentences. And that's a freebie. I'm just throwing it out there for you. So after tap dancing around that answer for a few minutes, CryptoRealist again presses him. Okay, well, can we have the name of your PR agency? And Russ is like, oh, I don't know if they'd let me be happy that I would release their name. Any PR firm would be more than happy to say, hey, we represent this particular company or firm or agency or token. They would love it. PR agencies always want to have themselves out there as they are representing this cryptocurrency or this company. Always. They never say, shh, don't tell anybody that we're involved with it. No PR agency works like that. You understand that, right? That's kind of their whole thing. They want people to know they're involved with this particular thing and that they're going to be cleaning it up. The fact that he's withholding the name absolutely confirms to me there ain't no PR company. There ain't no PR agency. Nobody's helping him. He's a lone wolf at this point. A lone wolf that doesn't know about spell check, apparently. And then SandStorm asked him about the NASDAQ interview and how actually it wasn't a NASDAQ interview. It was just an interview. And Russ is like, oh, no, that was on TV. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually supposed to fly out to New York, but with all the COVID restrictions, no. Those studios have been open and filming now for over a year. I know this for a fact. As long as you go there and you pass a COVID test, you're getting in the studio. But this is the problem. Russ spins a good narrative. I mean, he really is a smooth talker. The problem is he just wouldn't know the truth if it came up and slapped him, is really the big issue. Oh, gee, it was on TV? Where? When? What channel? What station? It's very easy to fact check. You can go onto any channel's log and see what was playing that particular day at that particular time. So I'd like a list of when it aired and where it aired. It is so easy to tell when Russ starts to get frustrated, because then he's like, are you saying this is bad? Marketing is bad? Any kind of marketing is bad? Is that what you're saying? No. Nobody said marketing is bad. Who just said that? Where did you hear marketing is bad? What we'd like to know is why you always need to inflate the truth. Why? The most exciting question for me was when SandStorm asked him about the liquidity of Saitama. Right now, it's locked up in Unicrypt until May. Now, think about this. If they have SataMask, and SataMask is a well-functioning asset, why wouldn't they move their liquidity from Unicrypt over into SataMask? And we're talking in May. This is months away. Why doesn't he have confidence in SataMask enough to move his own liquidity over there? Much like everything else that Russ says, it just doesn't really make a whole heck of a lot of sense to me. And then he was talking about how they're probably going to lock it again in Unicrypt for a little bit, but he didn't give an exact date. He didn't say for how long they were going to relock it. He just kind of said, and then we're going to relock it for, and then he stopped himself. He's like, oh, okay, I don't want to give too much information. And then he started talking about something else, and you never can just get a direct answer out of this guy. Why would you leave it in Unicrypt? It really doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense to me unless you're not confident with SataMask. That's what it sounds like to me. They wrapped up the whole interview with asking about all of the different personal attacks and why Russ has stayed silent this entire time. Even though the attacks have gotten so ugly and so personal, why haven't you spoke out? Why haven't you said something? The WolfPack would listen to you if you just said something. There's absolutely a way that he could put out one tweet and reel these guys in. But the answer, of course, is he doesn't want to reel them in. He can say that he doesn't condone it all he wants. I know he loves it. He loves to see the WolfPack going after people that they consider fudders, anyone that's putting truth out there about Saitama. He loves it when these guys go rabid and go after them. He can try to bull all he wants, but I know he's sitting there looking at Twitter with a big old smile on his face. He loves it. He loves it. Of course, he's going to say that he doesn't condone it. He doesn't like it. He wish it would stop, but he just doesn't want to get his hands dirty. Everything that these guys have said, he would love to say it. Oh, he would love to get on Twitter and type that out personally. For all we know, he's got a few alt accounts where he does do it. And that's pretty much where the interview wrapped up. Besides the fact that SandStorm asked him, have you bought Lily? No. Do you plan on buying Lily? No. Hats off to SandStorm and to CryptoRealist for keeping it so professional. You guys, it went off really great. I'm very proud of you both. And that's going to do it here for me today. And until next time, please take care of yourself and be nice. Try.